Hey, I'm Coach Mikki,
And I'm Mel.
and we are so glad that you are here with us today. And if this is your first time joining us, come on in and make yourself comfortable. And for those that join us on a regular basis, we are so glad that you do. And thank you always for your comments, your questions, and your suggestions on what you'd like to have us cover. And yeah, today I'm kind of excited for two things because today kind of collaborates with two crazy kind of things. Friday the 13th, and it's Galentine's Day.
No,
So
strange,
is it,
huh?
I feel, are we unlucky in love? I'm gonna, that's okay. We got each other. That's why we have
That's
gal.
right. That's right. And I have my
Yeah.
dogs, so we're all right there.
Yeah, same thing. I've got mine. Um, but we were talking about it before was
Mhm.
Friday the 13th, and I got thinking, where in the heck did this even start? Like, how did it even happen? What do you know about Friday the 13th?
Only thing I know is the movies I watched when I was a kid, and it freaked me out. So that was all I needed to know. But just like just a couple things like don't walk under ladders and avoid black cats, or if a black cat runs across. I mean, I used to do that a lot when I was a kid and we were in the cars. Like if a black cat ran across in front of the car, you just like lick your finger and like put that little X up in the corner of the windshield because it's supposed to, I don't know what it's supposed to do. I guess ward off bad. That's about all I know.
That's well, yeah, and you said you started to share with me off screen. So
Oh,
what happened today?
okay. So it's so bizarre because this morning, first thing we got up was well, my mom let her dogs out and the dog took off running. And she was yelling and screaming for here at 5 a.m. She's yelling for her. So by the time I was in there and had let my dogs out, I went outside. Just out of the blue, a cat just showed up. Just showed up. We have no idea whose it is, where it came from. And of course, the other cat that lives around here is not happy about it. But that cat just took over and stole his house, and I don't know what else. So we don't know what that's about. But that's the first time I've ever had experienced a cat just showing up out of the blue on today of all days.
Okay, was it a black cat? What color was it?
It's like a gray tabby. So I don't
Okay.
know what they call them,
Well,
torties or something
at
like
least it
that.
wasn't black. I
I
guess,
know,
but then
I
again,
know.
a cat.
I would freak out a little bit.
Wait, you had mentioned things that you did, like a cat running in front of you.
Mhm.
I know when you and I were driving across country, every time we went through a tunnel, you told me I had to beep the horn.
You had to beep the horn. And, you, and people from out of state, I think it's maybe a southern thing. I'm not quite sure if it's all over, but I know you had not heard of it before. And then here we were every time we went through a tunnel, got to hit that horn, even though they tell you you're not supposed to. Can't help it. We've always done it.
Well, I remember as a kid, if you went over the railroad track, you had to pick up your feet. Pick up your feet when
Oh,
you go over the railroad
really?
track. Yeah, that was that one. And then yeah, it was pick up your feet on the railroad track. Oh, and don't step on the cracks in the sidewalk. What was that
Yes.
saying? It was something like,
Don't step on the cracks and break your mother's back or something like that.
what is it?
Well, the weirdest thing we used to do is when we were traveling as kids, my brothers would be on one side of the car, I'd be on the other, and we'd count cows. When you went by pastures, you'd count cows. But every time you went by a cemetery, you had to kill your cows off and you had to start all over again. So when we got to my grandmother's, we always had to drive down this dirt road in between two cemeteries. And so we all lost. We never won. I still find myself doing that today, if I'm honest.
Okay, it's gonna be a southern thing. I'm gonna ask how many what was the highest number of cows you counted when you were playing this game?
Well, the funny thing is, she lived in the country, so there's a lot of farms around there. So as kids, we'd get to the point we'd get in the hundreds, and then we'd hit a cemetery, and then you had to start all over. But yeah, but we all lost in the end.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. That's awesome. Like, here's something for you guys to think about when next time you take your kids on a road trip.
Especially the kids in the back, it keeps them from being bored. That's for sure.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Well, before we started, I did print out, I went on to Wikipedia and I printed out where did Friday the 13th even start? because I had no idea. And I thought, is this just something we made up? Or like you said, is it from a movie? And man, it goes back pretty far, Mel. I mean,
Oh,
it's
really?
crazy. It's actually considered an unlucky day in the Western superstition, and occurs on the 13th of the month of the Gregorian calendar. And it
Hmm.
falls on a Friday, which obviously Friday the 13th. I mean, that's. But one source is mentioned was the North myth that 12 gods having dinner and a party in Valhalla, a trickster god Loki, who was not invited, arrived as the 13th guest and arranged for Hora, forgive me if I'm saying that incorrectly, the god of darkness, to shoot Balder, the god of joy and gladness, with a mistletoe-tipped arrow, and Balder died, triggering much suffering in the world, which caused a number 13 to be considered unlucky. So maybe
Oh,
that's where we get the Cupid thing with the arrow.
maybe
And
so.
I didn't think about that.
Uh-uh.
I didn't know that. And then they're saying the Christian Association is Leonardo da Vinci's Last Supper. The superstition seems to relate to various things in the story of Jesus' Last Supper and crucifixion, which there were 13 individuals present in the upper room on the 13th on Thursday, the night before his death on Good Friday. That's the
Oh,
Christian.
okay.
And then let's see, unlucky. There's no record of the 19th centuries, but then the Knights Templar, the arrest of the Knights Templar on Friday, October 13th in 1307 by King Philips of France, the origin of Friday 13th, but agreed that the origins remain a little murky, that that's not quite the others. And then the 13th might have been associated with misfortune as early as the first half of the 19th century. A character in 1834 plays I can't even pronounce this because it's in French, and I'll put it in the I'll put it in the description below because I'm not even going to try. Was born on Friday, December 13th, from which all comes misfortunes. And yeah, I guess there's just a lot of things through history that, and then it says possible publication in 1907, the popular novel Friday the 13th contribute, and that was back in 1907,
Hmm.
popularizing the superstition in the novel. Unscrupulous broker takes advantage of the superstition to create a Wall Street panic on Friday the 13th.
Oh,
So,
wow.
so there's all these things that have transpired. But the good news about this is that now every single year, Galentine's falls on the 13th because Valentine's is always on the 14th. So I
Right.
kind of like that. I like that we kind of, as us women, we kind of put a little fun twist on the 13th. Not that it always falls on a Friday, but how
Right.
fun for us that it does.
Exactly. Do you believe that, do you have a feeling that 13 is a bad number yourself?
No, no, but
Doesn't
isn't
bother
it?
you at all?
No, that doesn't bother me. To me, it's like that. I don't have a problem with that. But don't, and please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm trying to remember. I don't think there's 13 floors. Is there a 13th floor in any hotels? Do they
I
still do
think
that, or was that a myth?
there's not. Most of the ones I've been in, because we've always pointed that out, there's no number 13 on the push buttons on the elevator. Doesn't mean it's not there, just
Yeah.
means we go above it. So I do believe they do that. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody in the comments, but it never failed in my life. Anytime I was in a contest or anything like that, I always got number 13. I didn't
Really?
win, but I always got 13. So instead of thinking of it as an unlucky number, it's a lucky number.
Oh, did you win? Did you say you won? I'm sorry.
No, I never won.
Oh.
But interestingly enough, usually if I get like my lotto card or something, I'll always include 13.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I think everybody's got their lucky numbers
Yeah.
that they use. For me, I think 7 and 8, and then 10, and then obviously 3. Those are kind of my go-to numbers.
Yeah.
And I've got reasons behind that, my kids'
Hmm.
birthdays and all that jazz. But
Right, right.
I don't know. I think I always have a go-to, and then they say, "Oh, if you're," now there's people that do that numerology stuff that say, "Okay, it's this based on this year," and adding up all the numbers, and it's supposed to give you some kind of an idea, like, is this your lucky year?
Right.
So I know there's a lot to numerology. I'm not familiar with it personally. I'm sure other people are, but it's interesting how we attach certain things like this to Friday the 13th, and I have to wonder. How many people are buggy about today? How many people are wigged
Yeah.
out by it?
Yeah, isn't there like a name for, of course, I asked the question, I have no way of knowing, but there's a name for people who fear Friday the 13th.
Oh,
I
all right,
actually
we'll
think
look it
there's
up.
a phobia.
So what do they do? Just stay in bed all day?
I guess, I don't know. It's like,
Like, what do you do?
actually,
Just
it
stay
was
home?
funny because we had to go out earlier and we decided we were going to Sam's. I don't know whatever possessed us, the devil or something. I have no idea. We thought we were going to go to Sam's and we were going to get us some goodies. And it's like everybody in the last minute was buying anything Valentine's, including meat. I was shocked. So I guess there's a lot of people getting some steaks, some flowers, and some cupcakes for tomorrow. But yeah, that was not a very good moment
Oh
going to
my
Sam's.
gosh, it's like a run on love, right?
I was just trying to be happy, and it was, I was just walking around, and it's like, oh, somebody's gonna be happy. So there's a lot of good people out there. They're thinking of their significant other today.
Okay, I'm going to be a little bit of a curmudgeon here, and
Uh-oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry, but okay, this is what I've always thought about Valentine's Day. If you're in a relationship and you have love for each other, or regardless, or you even just your friends,
Mhm.
why do we just have one day to celebrate it? I really think, I mean, it's almost like you're forcing it. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot, so let's make sure that I want to let you know that I love you. It's like, shouldn't we do that like all the time? I mean, even if it's just an email or something. I mean, shoot, Mel, I mean, you live across the country, and when I we talk to each other, I always say love you, or I tell you how much I appreciate you. I do that with all
Right.
my friends. I'm not going to wait for one
One
day
day.
to say, oh, I got to remember to tell you I love you. I'm sorry. I'm being
No, I get
Alice here.
it.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Of course, I think a lot of it is corporate, and it's a way to capitalize on that. Don't forget Valentine's Day, but I I like the idea of the Friday the 13th, but I can't remember actually. I'm kind of a curmudgeon in that myself, but what the history is behind the Valentine's Day. What's the history behind the Galentine's Day?
Oh, that I do know.
Good.
So how sad. I don't know what the history is between Valentine's Day, but I know Friday the 13th and Valentine's Day. They're like, Mick, what is wrong with you? I'm waiting for the comments to start flying now.
I know they're
Um,
let us
so,
know.
so Galentine's Day, did you ever watch Parks and Rec?
Oh my gosh, it's been years.
Okay, so Parks and Rec, do you remember the one character was Wesley Snopes? Not, Leslie Snopes, I think was
Yes.
her name. Okay, it was Leslie. I know it was her first name, and she was played by Amy Poehler.
Right,
And
right.
right, so she decided to create Galentine's Day, which was the 13th, the day before Valentine's Day, to go
Mhm.
celebrate with all of her girlfriends. For people that weren't in a relationship, didn't have boyfriends, married or whatever. So
Right.
she said, I'm going to create this, and then it just stuck. So that show started Galentine's Day, and it's just
That's
evolved.
pretty
And
cool.
I love it because it's a day for women to come together, celebrate, us together. Some people go out and do the white elephant, and they do an
Mhm.
empowerment thing, or they go to lunch, and it's just to kind of identify and come together with
Mhm.
female empowerment.
That's actually really neat. I remember years ago, I had a friend in San Diego, and I guess she'd gone through an unfortunate breakup, and she was going to have a big blowout Galentine's Day. And I remember that it was going and participating at the time, though I had a significant other, but I went to her party anyway, so it was actually kind of fun. It is kind of a empowering thing, and it's just lighten up, make them feel like they're included. So. Well, I guess that's us today.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's why I wanted to do this one today,
Exactly.
because I was like, you know what, let's do this together. And fun, not only that, it'll also lift up everybody else too that might be
Mhm.
going, well, I don't have a Valentine's Day. Well, we'll be your Valentine.
That's right. We will. We will. We'll have fun.
Yeah. So what, okay, so I know we got today, and what do you got going on? So I know I want to talk about you a little bit. I know you've been doing some of your books and things, but what do you got going on? What's happening with you? What's happening in Mel's world?
Oh, Mail's World. Well, Mail's World can be a little dull sometimes, that's for sure. It's that time of year with taxes and stuff. That's what I've been doing for a while.
Oh man.
No, I've actually been I've been doing some sourcing, doing a little shopping and uploading stuff and selling some things. And, just I have been working on another word search book. My spring one, I'm hoping to put out by March 1st. So I'll have that one out and ready. And some people want something to do, maybe out by the pool later on this summer. I'll have one for summer. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And I've gotten some ideas for a couple of actually novels, more
Ooh.
like little, I don't, it's not coffee house more, it's like cozy novels, cozy mysteries. So I got an idea for that one. So I'd like to work on that. So just trying to some photography, starting my stock photography portfolio yesterday. So going through some and hopefully upload those. So yeah, just trying to dip my toes in that.
Yay. I'm so excited that you're writing again. I know you've
Thank
been
you.
kind of on a hiatus and you've been doing your word search, which is really cool. They're fun books.
Yes.
But your writing is so amazing and extraordinary. I'm
Thank
glad you've got some your muse is visiting you. I hopefully you'll come up with some stuff and I'll look forward to having that as something
Thank
we can
you.
talk about.
Thank you. What about you in your world?
Well, let's see. I did an event Wednesday. I was a keynote speaker. And do you
Oh,
ever have those times where you like do something and you're like on? I was
mhm.
like, okay, I was on this
Oh
one.
yeah.
Yeah, I felt pretty good about it. We talked about how your comfort zone is killing your success. So,
Mm,
and I've shared some of my stories, but I find that a lot of times if I just share my stories of what's happened with me, it's
hmm.
so much easier than trying to prepare for this long, involved thing. And
Right.
you know me, I'm pretty authentic. It's I just blurt out whatever comes to my head, which I know
Hmm.
is a good thing sometimes. But then, and I've been trying to finish my book. I've been trying to finish Hail Mary
Good.
and Heels. I really am working hard on that. I'd
Good.
like to finish that before the end of this month and use that and come on a book sign because I want to come out and see you. I
Yeah.
really want to come out and see you. I'm shooting for the end of spring, beginning of summer to do kind of
Perfect.
a small book tour on the East Coast. And so you're my inspiration, and and everybody else that I want to get out there and see because I've made a promise to all of you that I will come out to the East Coast and see you. But I figure if
Yeah.
I at least put a book signing attached to it, I can mix a little business with some fun.
There you go. Absolutely. That's what it's about.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what life's
yeah.
about anyway.
That's so. I know, and we've got a lot of things going, but I know you upload a lot of fun things because you
Mhm.
go and you go to different shops and you
Yes.
find unique items, and then I
Hmm.
know you resell and do what you're
Hmm.
doing. But I got to ask you, what is the most interesting thing that you've ever found that you were like, what in the heck is this? And then you ended up selling it.
Oh, wow. That's a good one. Gosh, there's been some weird things like primarily so well they're not really weird, but interestingly enough, like some toys that I found some vintage toys that I sold rather quickly and for not a bad haul on that. Because I know toys, I know my vintage Star Wars and things like that. So, golly, sometimes there's so many things. I think the funny thing is that sometimes I tell my family, I said, don't throw it out. I can sell it for you. And I do a lot of selling for family and friends to earn a little extra money. And my mom had a bottle of bath spray that I don't think she ever used. I think she just had it in her bathroom. God knows how long. And I put it up on Facebook Marketplace. It sold in a day but she was just going to toss it out. She's just going to toss it out. But the weird stuff, I'm sure I have quite a few of those that have interestingly sold. I am just drawing a blank right now. But yeah, primarily the weird things that I didn't expect were some vintage toys primarily, and yeah, that's all I can think of right now. If I think of anything more, I'll have it for next time.
Okay, so that leads to my next question. I was when you were saying vintage toys,
Mhm.
do you remember as a kid the board games that you used to play? Yes, we used to play board games before we had
Yes,
phones. So,
yes.
but what was some of the games that you remember as a kid?
Hungry Hippo. Operation. That thing terrified me to death. I know it's not like a board game, but it is a game that
Yeah.
you play with. But
Well,
I think,
explain what operation is if nobody knows what it is.
oh, Operation is this little caricature of a man. And inside of this is like the little body parts, like his funny bone and his whatever. And you have a little pair of tweezers and you have to do surgery on them and you have to get in these little slots and pull out these little body. That sounds horrible now that I'm talking about it as an adult. As a kid, we're doing surgery. That's just bizarre. So anyway, we're trying to get them out without the sides of the tweezers touching the little side because it would scare you. It made a horrible noise, and I'd get so upset, and I'd just start crying because I don't know why did I cry? Was it scare me? It didn't shock me. I don't think. I don't remember unless I've got. But anyhow, now that I talk about that, is bad. We're just doing surgery on things, but yeah. So I actually saw somebody online did an adult full size version where he made it like as big as a room, and you had to use these clamps to go in and do it, and it would actually shock you.
Oh man. Okay.
That's
That's a
not
little
fun to
extreme.
me.
Yeah, that's a little extreme.
What about you? What were some of your favorite ones?
I do remember that. I do remember Operation, and
Uh,
then I wanted an erector set, like where you had the
oh
dump trucks and all that jazz.
yeah,
And I wanted that. I don't know. Well, I've always been weird. So, but I remember having, but it was metal. It wasn't like plastic. So,
oh
and
yeah.
as and of course you leave it outside as a kid, and what happens to metal? It gets
Just
rusty. So
rusted,
here you are as a kid playing with a rusty
rusted
metal dump
pieces. Man, how we survived.
But I had that, and then, now this is going way back, and I don't know if I had one or if I'm just remembering it because it was in the attic or my
Mhm.
grandmother's basement. I don't remember, and it was actually in the movie, The Santa Claus, the dating game. Do you remember that, the dating
Yes.
game?
Oh my gosh, yes. I
Yeah.
forgot about that one.
So, I don't remember how to play. Only thing I remember about it was you spun the wheel, and
Yeah.
there was like what, five or six, maybe eight really, or maybe seven really attractive guys, and then
Yeah.
there was
What was
the unattractive guy. You got the unattractive guy. This is horrible.
oh, it's a bad game. It's a terrible game.
I know.
I think I remember playing it one time. And who knows why I stopped playing it? I don't
I
know.
know it's horrible. So maybe there's a reason why we don't play board games anymore.
And Monopoly, as a kid, it's like it's the same thing. It's just like life. It's just
Yeah, yeah.
Monopoly. I'd end up owing my brothers money every time I landed on their property. I was like, what? This is not my idea of fun.
I know. Being in debt at age 10.
I know, right? I'm going back to my Barbies.
That's right. Okay, I can ask you about Barbies. Did you? No, I had an aunt that was really cool. She was a seamstress, and what
Uh,
she would do is she would get scraps of material, and she'd make like all my Barbie clothes.
oh my
Which
gosh, I did too.
it
My
was.
aunt did the same thing. I still have them.
Oh my, really?
I still have them. I found it. The case of my old Barbies from like the 70s and early 80s when I was still playing with them, and all the clothes she made by of that
Oh
was
my
so
gosh.
bizarre.
My God. Wait, the only thing I remember are the clothes that I had, and I was kind of bummed because when I moved out, my dad had all my stuff, and I think my dad sold, I know he did. He sold all my Barbies in a garage sale. My dad, really? And I had like I mean, I had like the ones that were, I'm not going to tell you the time because that's my age. But I had a
The
lot of older
most
Barbies.
popular ones.
The most, yeah, the popular ones. But I do remember she had made, and of course, please, this is not me, so I don't want to hear in the comments, but she had made me a mink coat out of scraps.
Ooh,
And I
yeah,
was like, and now, granted, I would never own that now because
yeah,
that's not who I am. I mean, I'm an
exactly.
animal lover. But I do remember that. And I mean, you're
Uh-huh.
talking about a long time ago when it wasn't, you know, people didn't know any better, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well,
Yeah.
mine were all polyester pantsuits. So Ken was always dressed in a suit. No, I have no idea why. And Barbie was always running around in some wedding, but wedding dress. I don't know what was going on there. Yeah, there was some cool some mod stuff. Actually, that's popular today,
Yeah.
in clothes wise. So my Barbie, she's in fashion now.
That's right. Yeah, it always circles back around. It's like, hang on to your clothes because I guarantee it'll come back around again, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Although I don't know if I want shoulder pads to come back because you make it like a linebacker.
Funny thing it is, I saw it the other day for spring summer. Can you believe
Really?
it? Big, big shoulder pads, long blazers. Some of it's cool, but
The
I
only
don't
thing I
know.
like, the only thing I liked about the shoulder pads is it made your waist look really thin. Because if your
Yeah.
shoulder pads were big,
Yep.
you
Only
look
thing
like
you
you had a
see, teeny
tiny
tiny
waist.
waist.
Yeah, exactly. It created that illusion.
Hey, and at my age now, as many times I walk into a door frame, it definitely would help. That way I wouldn't have to bruise my shoulder every time I walk in a room.
I don't know, Mel. Maybe you need glasses over shoulder pads.
Maybe so. You don't need shoulder pads, you just need glasses. I'll take note of that.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's always so fun to hang out with you. I love
Same
doing
here.
this and I miss you and I love the fact that we at least can do this once a month and just
That
kind of
would be
hang out
fun. Yeah.
and share our stories. And I know our listeners love it and I can't wait to see the comments down below. We haven't done a video in a long time, so this is going to be really
Yeah.
fun. And
Yeah.
then the podcast is, they still scroll. The podcast that still has the most downloads to this day on here is Tell Me Something Funny
Oh,
between me,
yeah.
you, and Jackie. I mean, it just cracks me up every time I see it. It's like it just keeps scrolling up. But I think that's what we need. We need a little happiness, a
Yes.
little bit of joy, and everybody knows that
Yeah.
we're pretty much unique and authentic. We're not going to sugarcoat and tell you. I
That's
mean,
right.
yeah.
We are who we are, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, well, happy Galentine's Day. I love
Happy
you.
Galentine. Love you too.
Was it the heart thing? Is that right? So I do it
Do that. Mine always looks weird.
right? All right, you guys, thanks for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next month or whenever we get a chance to get back on here. Thank you so much for being part of us. We love you, and remember, the most courageous thing you can do is be yourself. Until then, happy Galentine's Day. See ya.
Bye, y'all.